Last time on the Faraway Quarry channel, I showed you guys the very few stops in our epic United Kingdom trip. If you haven't watched those videos yet, what's wrong with you? Nah, I'm just kidding. Or am I? No, but seriously, if you haven't watched those videos yet, I highly recommend you do. Están muy chidos. Anyway, here's a quick little recap. In the first video, we arrived in London, went to the Bluebell Railway, where we finally got to meet our boy, Steppers. Then in the second video, we visited the National Railway Museum in York, saw an insane amount of cool trains, and explored some of the most beautiful sights that York had to offer. Honestly, it was peak trip material, and it was one of my favorite days out of the entire trip, even better than the Bluebell in my opinion. But we still had a lot of the journey to go, and this is what happened the very next day after the NRM. We woke up early, packed our luggage, and headed to the Sheffield station. And finally, after 3 days in the UK, we were finally blessed with the true British experience. Cold, grey, rainy, depressing weather that soaks straight into your soul. Then traveled all the way to the next station, which was Wilnecote? Yes, Wilnecote. My Mexican ass can never pronounce these names correctly, I'm sorry guys.
A few moments later.
We walked from the station to the Drayton Manor Hotel, where the lobby was just full of cool Thomas decorations.
I never seen a musical Thomas before.
We then dropped all of our luggage in the lobby, and we were quickly joined by another TSI legend, James Bond 005, or as I know him, as the face expert. We all headed towards the park entrance, and we entered the section of the park we wanted to go to the most. This biking park attraction thingy. Okay, so we quickly left that area. I gotta say, Drayton Manor is really confusing layout-wise. Now, Drayton Manor has a lot of attractions, like a lot of attractions. Roller coasters, a zoo, a biking themed area, as we just saw, and all sorts of cool attractions. But none of that mattered to us, because in the distance was the only place on this resort that mattered. Found the entrance, and there the hours of fun were just about to begin.
It is here.
Drayton Manor is one of Britain's most famous park resorts in the country. It originally started as a 19th century estate, before eventually becoming a theme park in the 1950s. But we don't care about that. Sorry, Drayton. Fast forward to March 2008. Thomas Land officially opened to the public, the first fully themed Thomas and Friends park in the UK. And over time, the park has expanded, adding rides like the Charlton Trucks roller coaster, this Toby thingy, a Thomas ride, cafes, etc, etc. Basically everything a young Thomas fan or a grown man with autism and a wallet like me could want. But the most interesting attraction would come just a year later after opening the park. As we know, Thomas and Friends the TV series was switched to CGI animation in 2009, putting an end to the classic model series era. And ever since, many of the original character and building props from the show were given away or auctioned off to private collectors, museums, secret bunkers, my basement, who said that? But some models and their inventory were given to Drayton Manor, who later made the Discover Thomas and Friends exhibition, featuring a working layout built entirely from original screen use props from the show. A nice way to make use of all of these characters that brought us joy in their screens for many years, as they enjoy retirement. It's the dream of every Thomas fan, seeing the real TV series Gauge 1 models with our very own eyes. As all of the models are well maintained, cleaned regularly, they feed them 3 times a day with a lot of love and care. Yeah, like that's ever gonna happen. Let's get the elephant out of the way. Drayton Manor hasn't always had the greatest reputation among Thomas fans. Drayton Manor is just not very experienced with handling these props. These are not average model railway toys that can easily be replaced. These are screen use props that should be treated with the most care in the world to ensure their longevity. Unfortunately though, a lot of the models that were loaned to Drayton Manor got worn down over the years to the point where they look almost unrecognizable. I've been very outspoken of my criticisms towards the park. I literally called the exhibition the scrapyard in previous videos, and I made a lot of jokes at their expense. 1. To sell toys. 2. To fill up shelf space in Toys R Us. And 3. To have their props rot in Drayton Manor 10 years later.
No! I want to live! I want to live!
And to me, this is totally justified, as some of the engines and vehicles who went in never came back out looking the same, and Toby was allegedly straight up stolen. How the hell did that even happen? But in recent years, things have been improving. The layout was fully overhauled, replica models run the layout now, and the original props are kept mostly static. Is everything perfect? No, but at least progress is happening, and credit where credit is due. I'm glad the conditions of the exhibition have improved for the better. Mostly. But let's not worry about that for now. This was the first time I was ever going to see a Thomas TV series prop in real life with my very own eyes. And there at the gift shop entrance was the path to the exhibition, and the childhood levels of nostalgia were at the roof right now. And as I entered the exhibition, I just knew that the hours of fun was just about to begin.
I see Toby. I see Toby. Oh my god, the balloon.
Oh, hello, Daniel. It's been a while. Yeah, that's it. Everything's fixed. That's a replica. That's a replica. That's been used.
Seeing the Gauge 1 props with my very own eyes felt unreal. I always knew that the Gauge 1 props were big, but these boys are massive. And I got to see some of the most fan-favorite legends of the show. And also a lot of glupshitos. But hey, they're still a part of Thomas's history, am I right? And most of what you see here really are the original screen-use characters from Thomas and Friends, the television series. Such as...
less of the replicas of running. Butcher?
Yeah?
Look on the roof. Yeah, it escaped. Honestly, like the one on the he's one of the ones I'm really confident in. Not yet. Oh, that.
Hours of fun. Not gonna lie, I now want to make an entire route based on this layout. Tell me in the comments if you would like to see that from me. I don't know. I think that would be a pretty fun route for me to make, you know? Seeing this layout with my very own eyes was awesome. It truly gave me a better sense of perspective on these props in terms of scaling, you know? No wonder why they needed such a big warehouse just to film the show. And I enjoyed seeing all the little references and Easter eggs put into it. Stuff that made me go, heh, que chistoso. But before we left the exhibition area, of course I took some sick photos of the entire layout. Do whatever the hell you want with these images. Upload them to the wiki, use it for your videos. You can do whatever the hell you want with them. It's my gift for all of y'all. But there was some weird stuff though. The only engine that worked that day was Toby, as Thomas and Rosie were broken that day and were just barely noticeable under the tunnels, just refusing to come out, you lazy little shits. Such a shame. But still, if you're a fan of the model series, like I am, you owe it to yourself to visit at least once. I know I'm supposed to hate Drayton Manor and all of the mistakes they made over the years, but honestly, this was way too cool to hate. I'm sorry guys. Yeah, I know, I'm easily swayed. The rest of the time was spent exploring more of what the park had to offer. Some really interesting attractions, all with a Thomas flair. We even stopped by and met Sir Topham Hatt, the Fat Controller himself. And took some epic selfies with him. This is one of my favorite photos from the trip, by the way.
Quite alone on this one, isn't he? Where you agree, Phoebe?
Here you go. He heard you making an own joke.
Alright, so here we have James, right? As you can see, and it's really interesting to me that they put James all the way here alone. James is a mixed traffic engine that mainly works on the main line. You shut the fuck up.
Can you imagine him?
Yeah. Is it just me, or is this James just a bit... I don't know. You know what I mean?
They're trying to break free.
Are they queuing? Are they?
No one's driving that one.
I want to drive.
There's just such
I want
a
to drive
giant
here.
chin.
Oh, it's on the basement.
Son, you like actually want this, or can I give away like some kid that's like flat or something?
And this is where something funny happened. You see, those motherfuckers told me that we were getting in line for the Thomas ride, but after 15 minutes, I realized that we were in line for the Troublesome Trucks roller coaster. Fuck No, it's a good time to mention a little piece of faraway lore about myself. I fucking hate roller coasters. I hate them. I can't stand them. Not anything against them, just that I'm an absolute pussy when it comes to these. People say, just face your fears, man. What's there to lose? Nah, bro. I saw Final Destination 3. They all died in the movie thanks to a roller coaster. Nah, I'm good. Me and roller coasters do not mix. Last time I got into a roller coaster was at Space Mountain at Disneyland with my parents, and I absolutely hated it. 0 out of 10. I do not recommend never going into one of these again. I was ready to dip, but somehow my friends convinced me to try it. I mean, this is the simplest, babiest roller coaster imaginable, meant for literal toddlers. So hey, maybe this baby roller coaster would help me conquer my totally irrational fear. Finally, it was our turn to hop into the roller coaster. Immediately, it breaks down, and they let us back out. Phew, at least I don't have to try that again. Okay, roller coaster broke, we can all go home, right? Wrong. Eventually, we get back in, the trucks start climbing, and I immediately begin to realize something big about myself that I didn't know about. What is it, you may ask? Well, what I found out about myself was that I fucking hate roller coasters. I did not enjoy it. I clung to Southern for dear life, and as I just silently suffered through the roller coaster. It was only 2 laps, but man, it felt like 2 hours. I think the photo the park took of us sums up perfectly how I felt. I am never going on a roller coaster again. But even so, I'm still proud of myself for at least trying it. Even though that I was regretting all of my life's choices at the roller coaster, as much as I wanted to hop off, I did not scream. I took it and suffered silently. You know, like a man. After that fiasco, the group split. Southern Sun and Kiwi went to a bigger roller coaster. Psychotic behavior, I know. Will went somewhere, and I returned to the exhibition and explored more of the park. Not for long though, as Thomas Land was just about to close.
All with different roles to play around timber sheds and far away. Down the hill and round the bend, Thomas and his friends. Yeah! Hello there, everybody! Breed, the best of friends that you've ever seen. Yeah, well, you know what? We've got another best friend in Thomas. Oh, yeah, so let's do that then. So please give a big round of applause and a massive cheer for Sir Thomas!
Hello, everybody!
Hey, take it away, sir.
Emily Gordon and Henry go through. Edward James and Toby too. Thomas and Percy are best friends.
They are.
Working together till the very end. For the best of friends that you ever see.
Come on, everyone, clap those hands. Ice cream, ice cream. I like lots of ice cream. I don't like bread and I don't like jam and I don't like pickles and I don't like ham. I want some for my breakfast. I want some for my tea. So if you've got some ice cream, give it to me.
Walk away, but everybody knows we had a wonderful day. Goodbye, goodbye, we'll see you again. So come back soon to be with Thomas and friends. Come on, bye bye Thomas. With those arms and warm. Bye bye Thomas, Thomas and friends.
And with that, our time at Thomas Land had come to an end.
Bye bye Thomas, Thomas and friends. Bye bye Thomas, yeah, Thomas and friends.
After struggling to find the hotel lobby again, I'm telling you, Drayton Manor is the most confusing park ever. We all met shortly at the hotel lobby, said goodbye to James Bond 005, and remember that roller coaster my friends went on? Turns out after 1 hour in line, when they got to finally get into the roller coaster, it stopped halfway through and they had to be let out manually. You see, I told you, roller coasters are the devil. Shortly after, we grabbed our luggage and left the Drayton Manor Resort, as we had a long way to go to Tywin Wells. Or at least that's what we thought. You see, the original plan was to go straight into the station and grab the next train to Tywin Wells. But you see, remember the model shop from the last video? Will bought a lot of stuff, like half the store's inventory, like I swear. And he was in desperate need of another luggage. So we had to change plans and go to a nearby mall so Will can get his luggage, and in the process we can all grab something to eat, right? While Will was getting his luggage, Kiwi and I explored some of the toy stores, where I got to see for the first time the brand new 80th anniversary motorized items. Something I was just dying to get my hands into.
Hey Hugo, look, Talking Thomas, try it. Oh, Jesus Christ!
And how many did I buy, Hugo? None. I said to myself, what's the point of buying them here if I can just get them in the US, you know? But it wasn't until a few months later that a friend told me that Duck was UK exclusive and was not coming out in the US. God damn it, I had it in my hands. That is so annoying. Well, after that mess, we all met at a local Five Guys. And I gotta say, it was the best thing I ate that entire trip. That's kinda sad, honestly. But then we all realized we had made a horrific mistake. The last train to Tywin had already left, and we were stranded. We needed to be at Tallinn early the next morning because we had paid big money for a private railway tour a couple days before Awdry started, and we sure as hell were not gonna miss it. We paid top dollar for this. We panicked and we were stressed out of our minds. There were no other trips to Tallinn until next morning. We needed to somehow make it deep into Wales with only a couple hours towards midnight. In other words, we needed to get to Tallinn or bust. But then Sud and Southern came up with the only solution: Uber. So we basically had to pay 2 Uber drivers to take us to Drayton Manor to Abergavenny. Expensive as hell, sure, and a long ass ride, but it was either this or nothing at this point. We all hopped in our Ubers and headed the long way to Abergavenny.
If that happens, I swear. It would be pretty cool.
Or could you be Scotland, special base setup?
And I gotta say, the Uber driver was the nicest guy ever. He bought us drinks, chatted with us, and when he saw that we were rail geeks, when we saw some railway tracks, he even stopped for us to see some of the railway tracks.
Oh, it's a light railway.
Turns out that this was the Welshpool and Llanfair Light Railway, which was a cool little bonus. This is just some lovely scenery. After hours of car travel, we finally arrived at our Airbnb in Abergavenny, completely exhausted, but arrived nice and safely thanks to our fantastic Uber driver. And we were finally in the last stop of our journey, and we made it on time. We all had a collective group hug as we survived this chaotic day. We all grabbed a room and we collapsed into bed, as we have to wake up early tomorrow to get to our next destination. Out of all the days of the UK trip, this one was one of the wildest ones. A true roller coaster of emotions. You see what I did there? Drayton Manor was alright, not our best stop in the journey, I gotta say. It was heavily carried by the exhibition, if I'm honest, and even that, most of the props were broken that day. Probably didn't help that it was raining that day, and everything in the theme park was just absolutely wet. I know it's the UK we're talking about, but still. The attractions and rides, while cool, were clearly made for children, like, obviously, right? These were obviously designed for young Thomas fans and families. And I gotta say this about Drayton Manor. I had the shittiest hot dog I've ever had in my life. I wish I would have taken a photo that day just so you can look at it in the video. Like, it just looked and tasted sad, you know? I don't know how they managed to do that. But even so, the staff was really friendly, meeting Sir Top and Pat was awesome, and seeing the exhibition was truly one of the highlights of the trip, in my opinion. It just had good vibes all around. I'm still glad that we went to Drayton Manor at the end of the day, but I wouldn't go back unless they add something new to the exhibition. But still, if you ever find yourself in the UK and are a Thomas fan, I feel like Drayton Manor is still a place that you are really going to enjoy. I think it's worth it just for the exhibition, you know? But now we were halfway through the UK trip, and now we've reached the final destination of our trip. From the next video onwards, the videos will focus on the same location. Next time on the Faraway Quarry channel, we ride on a bus, we trespass into the engine shed, we hang out at Wharf, we dive into a museum full of cool artifacts, we see Nicolas Cage, and we see some very special old narrow gauge friends. All that and more in our next destination, the Talyllyn Railway in Tallinn, Wales. Stay tuned, everyone.
There are 6 to your side.
Hey, Hugo! You gonna hear that song playing?
My favorite song ever. I love it.
God bless you, old Wizzy.
You know, it's like I love Osama cuando en dingo.
Nice.
It doesn't matter anyway.
It's all gonna be dust.
It's all gonna be dust one day.
Nice.